The rumble bridge takes the idea of a vibrating floor to a whole new level. Ha ha ha! The materials are relatively inexpensive, and the construction process is fairly simple, making it a great scare that almost anyone can build. Let's take a closer look at how it's constructed. The bridge consists of a platform, the 2 ramps, and 2 railings. The platform and ramps are constructed from a single 4x8 sheet of plywood, about 3/4 of an inch thick, so it's fairly sturdy. Cut the plywood in half to give you 4x4 pieces. One 4x4 piece becomes the platform. Cutting the other piece in half again gives you 2 2x4 pieces, which you can use for your ramps. The top of the railings is 2x4, held up by 2x2 pieces, bolted to the supports. The supports are 4x4 pieces, about 6 inches long, to raise the platform up. Don't forget, it's got to be strong because it has to support not only the bridge, but all of the people on it as well. Once you've got the basic bridge constructed, it's time to make the magic happen. So let's take a closer look underneath. We'll turn up the lights a little bit, and now we have to attach our motor underneath the bridge. This provides the vibrations that will shake the bridge for us. By itself, the motor isn't strong enough to shake the bridge as much as we'd like. We need the bridge to be able to move a little bit. So to do this, we cut some large rubber balls in half and attach them to the bottom of the supports. The rubber balls do 2 things. First, they give the bridge a bit of a sponginess, so when people step on it, it has a little bit of flex. Also, because the bridge is now on top of a rubber support, it can move around a bit, so as the motor vibrates, the bridge will shake more violently. That's the basic bridge construction. However, because the motor is so important, let's take a closer look at just that. Since we're going to talk about motors, the first thing you should probably know is what kind of motor to use. Now, with most of our projects, we love windshield wiper motors, but those don't cut it here. So instead, we have to use something like this. What is this? This is actually a motor out of an electric scooter. They run off of 24 volts normally, and although it's ideal at high speeds for that, we don't need to run it that fast, so 12 volts, say off of an old PC power supply, works just great. Okay, here's our motor. It's basically 2 wires, red and a black for positive and negative, and how you wire it up doesn't matter because direction isn't important here. However, what is important is that little gear on the end. Normally, this gear would have a drive belt around it to help move the scooter around. However, we can't use a drive belt. What we do need to do though is attach a little metal arm to this that we can attach a fishing weight to so that the weight is offset. That way when it rotates, it'll vibrate a lot. What you attach things with is important since it has to be really strong, so glue is out of the question. What I use are those little clamps that you use to attach fittings to the end of things like a garden hose or something like that. They'll slip right over the end and then you can tighten it up with a screwdriver and there is no way it is coming off. That's a great way to hold things on, and that way it'll last a long time. About the only other things you'll need will be the metal bracket, the clamp, the weight itself, plus a nut and a bolt of some kind to hold the weight onto the arm, and some metal strapping to hold the motor against the piece of wood that you mount under the bridge. Also, of course, you'll need some hot glue or something to hold the ball halves to the bottom of the bridge, and various screws and things like that to put the bridge together. You'll also need some very large bolts to bolt the railing supports to the supports under the bridge. These have to be very strong because typically that's how you move the bridge around. Here's a final parts list. Have fun and happy haunting!